so today we're going to be going over refusal skills, just saying no, and self-advocacy skills. So I've handed you all out an entry card, and I'm going to read the questions for you. So number 1, in your own words, what is the definition of refusal? Number 2, which of the following is a healthy choice in the following situation? On your walk after school, your longtime friends offer you a cigarette. No adults are around to see you. Do you A, take part in it so that you fit in? B, identify the situation as harmful and do not take part? C, ignore the situation and continue your walk in silence? Number 3, true or false? When identifying a harmful act, such as use of alcohol, drugs, or tobacco, you need to give a detailed explanation to why. So go ahead and fill out your entry cards. Okay, now we're going to do an open-ended review over some of the things that you've learned about this week. So question 1, what is the most important part of collaboration? John?
I'm going to say communication.
Okay, good job. And with healthy communication comes healthy blank. Luke, do you know the answer?
Advocacy.
Good job. So I'm going to start this lesson with a scenario. So let's imagine there's a popular group of kids that you've always dreamed of being friends with, and that you've always wanted to be around the cool crowd. Finally, after what seems like an eternity, they invite you to their local hangout spot. You can't help but feel in the back of your mind that with one small slip, the group will reject you, and you'll become the butt of the joke for the rest of the year. Once you get to the spot, someone gently slides you something that you know that you shouldn't be around. Come on, don't be weird, they say. Everyone is doing it, and you'll be the only one that's not. You have just a few seconds to respond. What do you do? So today we're going to go over not only the skills that I'm going to equip you with to be able to handle this situation, but how to do it when you have not a moment to spare. So the first part of today's lesson is we're going to watch a small video over refusal skills.
It may seem common for young people to experiment with different substances, like vaping, weed, tobacco, Molly, and alcohol. Some may even consider hard drugs such as cocaine, meth, or opioids like heroin. Regardless of the substance, if it's not prescribed by a doctor and taken as prescribed, experimenting with substances can have negative effects. Meet Jeremiah. Jeremiah hangs out with his friends on the weekends. They drink alcohol and occasionally smoke marijuana to relax and get away from the stresses of life and school. One time at a party, Jeremiah smoked something a girl handed to him, not knowing what it was. Later, he found out that it was K2, the synthetic type of weed. His friends told him that he was hilarious and started acting crazy, and that they couldn't wait to party with him again. Jeremiah was concerned because he has no memory of what happened. He wants to be with his friends and have a good time, but he hated not remembering and doesn't want to take another substance like that again. He also feels new pressure to be the life of the party and act a certain way. What happened to Jeremiah is all too common. You start out taking one substance and end up taking something else. A danger in using any substance that isn't prescribed to you is not knowing exactly what it is you're taking and how it will impact you. Unfortunately, young people are being exposed to substances that can have dangerous physical and mental health consequences. As a good rule of thumb, if a drug isn't prescribed to you, you shouldn't take it. Pretty quickly, what feels like casual or experimental substance use can turn into a substance use problem, which has long-lasting and negative consequences. Before you decide to use a substance, know the risks and potential consequences, or reach out to a counselor to talk about it.
Okay, we can see in that video it's not worth it, right? How one small decision can start impacting your whole future, and how it can ultimately be something that you can't get out of. And that leads us to today's PowerPoint, which is refusal skills on substance abuse. All right, have you ever experienced peer pressure? John, has there ever been a time in your life you've experienced peer pressure?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, can you give us an example?
I remember there was one time in school, we were younger, about 14-year-old.
Okay.
I was cadet on the fire department.
Yeah.
And a good buddy of mine came up to me and said, "Bud, let's go around this fire station real quick. I need to talk to you." I said, "That's all right." So we went on back there. And he pulled out a Marlboro Light.
Okay.
And he said, "You want one? Because I'm going to smoke right now." Sure enough, he lit it up. I said, "Well, what do you get out of that?" He goes, "Well, I get a lot out of it." So I'm okay.
But you would have felt left out, right? If he was the only one doing it, not you?
Oh yeah, I would have been.
Okay.
Would have felt alone. Isolated. Without.
Well, see, the main idea of peer pressure is peers can influence how you think, act, and feel. So it couldn't just be about a cigarette. It could be like your whole mood, right? You know how you ever have a friend group and there's one that's really moody and it just throws the whole vibe off? That's a form of peer pressure. So resisting negative peer pressure is practicing refusal skills that will help you deal with negative peer pressure. And again, this could be stuff such as stealing, smoking, being somewhere that you're not, your parents know that you're not supposed to be. All those are a form of peer pressure. So who is the who with refusal skills? So who is the best person to use refusal skills with when practicing at home? John, I know it could be your brother. I know he's been aggravating you about doing the laundry, and you do it for him even though it's his job, right? You can start practicing refusal skills with Kevin. When might you be asked to smoke a cigarette, chew tobacco, drink alcohol, lie to someone, steal something, cheat, be dishonest, or deface property? You can use refusal skills with all of those. So the first type of refusal skill that I want to teach you about is to just say no. So it could be a simple response as no thanks, I'm not interested, or no, I don't want to. You don't owe anybody an explanation for why not. You can just simply say no to keep everything from being awkward. You can also blame someone else. Like you say, I can't smoke pot, my coach drug tested me, I'll get kicked off the team. Or no, my parents tell me that I'm not supposed to be here. You don't have to have the blame on yourself. You can always pass it on to someone else. Or you can suggest something else to do. So instead of going to this party where we know there'll be alcohol, why don't we just stay in, rent a movie, and order a pizza? So some guidelines to use when using refusal skills is to be assertive. Let them know how you feel, tell them no, and remain firm in that. Clearly state your position. If you say no, make sure you mean it and stand your ground. Don't be wishy-washy. And make sure to use body language, positive body language, because often, more times than not, body language speaks more than the words itself. Asking questions like what or why. The initial step of asking question helps determine whether in fact there is anything wrong with the situation. And name the trouble. You can say things like, that's dumb, that's wrong, I don't want to steal, or I don't want to smoke. Saying that out loud can help you be affirmed in your refusal skills. And it also names the trouble, just like it states here. Saying that's dumb or that's wrong gets it out, and it may even give the person that is applying the peer pressure to you realize what they're doing. You can also state the consequences, such as I could get suspended, just like I said about smoking marijuana with your football coach. I could get kicked off the team, etc. Move it and sell it. As in, if you change your mind, that scenario. Because how many times have you heard people say, well, if you change your mind, I'm always here. Or if you want to try it again, come to me. With that, you can just basically walk away. Again, use no, be assertive, use positive body language. Why not use the refusal skill? I feel like a wimp for saying no to a cigarette or beer. If I keep saying no to my friends, pretty soon they won't be my friends. How many here in this room has ever felt that way? Hands around the room. I feel dumb saying stuff like this, or I can just say no if someone offers this to me. This whole reason this slide is so important, because this is the core of it. This is why we have to equip ourselves with these refusal skills and use the 2-letter magic word. What is it, John?
No.
Good job. Okay, this is very important, and it'll be on your quiz. These are the top 10 refusal skills for teens. Make a joke. Give a reason why it's a bad idea. Make an excuse why you can't. Just say no plainly. Suggest an alternative. Ignore the suggestion. Repeat yourself if necessary. Leave the situation. Thanks but no thanks. And the power of numbers. Here's a good example too that I've actually used before. This is a tip. Fake a text message or a phone call. It's not that hard to pull your phone out and say, hey, my mom's calling, I've got to go. Having the ability to refuse or stand out alone when peer pressure is strong is often difficult, but a person can resist or he or she really wants to. Everyone has the power to refuse. I don't care what your past is, what you've been through, what you've been around, what you've been conditioned to accept. Everybody has the power to refuse. If he or she doesn't really want to, it can be easy to give in. This is why you have to keep your guard up at all times. Here's a good quote. Everyone has the power to resist, but everyone doesn't sincerely want to. Okay. Here I have your quizzes. It's a 5-question quiz. This is just to see what you've learned throughout this lesson. And if you have any questions, you can let me know. I'm going to read these out loud too. Number 1, what is the most effective vocal tone to use during refusal? A, high-pitched and giggly. B, monotoned and stern. C, low and angry. 2, what is peer pressure? When friends give you a hug? When friends encourage you to try new foods? Or the effects that friends have on you in your decision making? Now I know that one of these can be very tricky, but at the core, what is peer pressure? What phrase is naming the trouble? A, that's dumb. B, I don't want to smoke. C, both A and B. Number 4, name 2 of the 10 refusal skills mentioned in the slideshow. And 5, true or false, everyone has the power to refuse. So for our last portion of the lesson, I'm going to go over an article with you through Child Mind, which is a scientific resource. Although e-cigarettes have been around for more than a decade, vaping rates have skyrocketed in recent years, especially among teens. E-cigarettes are now the most frequently used tobacco product among adolescents. Some 2.1 million middle and high school students were e-cigarette users in 2017. Far surpassing traditional combustible cigarettes. Now, when I was in school, everybody smoked. You had people sneaking in the bathroom to smoke, smoking in the parking lot after school, trading cigarettes. So it shows you just how quick that e-cigarettes have taken on. Juul, a popular vape device that comes in fun colors, looks like a flash drive and can be charged in a USB port. It's especially concerning. Juul delivers high levels of nicotine, making the product extremely addictive. The company that makes the Juul mark recently exceeded a $10 billion evaluation faster than any company, including Facebook. Juul sales now make up more than half of the e-cigarette market. The FDA announced that it will be cracking down not only on illegal sales of e-cigarettes to minors, but also the kid-friendly marketing and appeal to these products. Because we see now there's even commercials, if you get on YouTube, about Zen, or what's some more, John?
For what? Say that again.
For nicotine products, the advertising that we see.
You got Zen, and you also got
Even some alcohols, right?
Yeah. They
make it to be very colorful and very appealing to the younger audience, and this is where they're getting them. And after recent unexplained illnesses and deaths that have been attributed to vaping, the CDC and the American Medical Association are expressing serious concerns, recommending that people should avoid vaping entirely. Teachers, health professionals, and parents are alarmed by the growing popularity of vaping among young people and trying to educate not only teens, but also themselves, as this is still so new. Vaping is the act of inhaling and exhaling the vapor produced by the heated nicotine liquid, often called juice, of an electric cigarette, vape pen, or personal vaporizer. It is also commonly called juuling. What originated as a smoking cessation aid has quickly become popular and addictive product in its own right. The teens are after innovation, and they are attracted by sleek design and ease of use, he says. They look like an Apple product. And this just shows again how appealing they are to young people, and how, you know how kids today have to have the newest iPhone. They have to have the newest headphones. This is where the marketing can get them, and especially prominent in the media. Although vaping companies emphatically deny that they are marketed to young people, critics note such features in their advertising as useful images and colors and animations and actors who appear to be under 21, and suggest that vaping makes you happier and improves your social status. Although some of the health risks associated with vaping appear to be less severe than traditional combustible cigarettes, there's no tar for example, there are still some risks. For one, there are extremely high levels of nicotine. And because of these high levels of nicotine, vaping is extremely addictive. I have had people tell me that it's harder to get off vaping than it is cigarettes. E-cigarettes and similar devices contain carcinogenic compounds, and a recent study found significantly increased levels of carcinogens in the urine of teens who vape. One study found that vaping does in fact cause lung irritation akin to that seen in smokers and people with lung disease, and causes damage to vital immune system cells. Since they leave little odor, e-cigarettes are particularly easy to hide and use as discreetly in public places, including school. Kids are also vaping marijuana at increasing rates, which brings its own health risk. Here where it says about how discreet it is and how easy it is to hide from parents, that's kind of like the Juul thing, right? Where it plugs into a USB. A kid could lie to their mom and dad and say, hey, this is just a USB, and they totally buy it. One problem with vaping is that teens hear that it is not bad for your health, as smoking is, and many think there is no harm. They really think that they are mostly flavors and that they are inhaling a pleasant gas. One study of 12th graders found that kids who vaped but were not previously smokers were more than 4 times as likely to move away from their perception of cigarettes as posing a greater risk of harm. The study and others like it have shown that teens who vape are much more likely to start smoking cigarettes. The packaging does little to convey this risk. They are very enticing the way they look. It's not transparent at all. It says at 5% nicotine, which sounds like nothing, so teens think 95% is water weight or vapor, laments Dr. Tascari. Sarah, a mom of 2 in Ann Arbor, Michigan, was shocked to get a phone call the other day from her son's middle school principal requiring her to come in immediately for emergency removal and suspension. He and 2 friends had been caught vaping on school grounds after school, and a passing parent took photos and sent them to the administration. Though they didn't find any devices on her son, a straight A student with no prior offenses, the school, like many others, is taking a hard stance. The principal knows that vaping is common and shared that the businesses in downtown Ann Arbor are selling to teens without asking for IDs. However, she feels the need to let my son and his friend know that this is a really, really big deal. So this shows just how schools are getting involved. It's advised for parents to start educating themselves so that they know what they're talking about when it comes to speaking with their children on this matter. The most important thing is keeping it as dialogue. Declarative statements like it's just bad for you could be the end of the conversation. It's also recommended starting the conversation more generally by asking if a lot of kids at school vape. Once the conversation is initiated, you can slowly work your way up to asking things like, what is your experience with that? What are the flavors like? Dr. Takashi also suggests getting a sense of what they know or think they know about the product, which gives them an opening to start educating them. So there's many pathways. to obtain not only information about the product itself, but if a child has any involvement in it. Of course, while parents need to educate themselves, the onus isn't entirely on them. Schools need to own this as well and provide educational strategies for both teachers and students. Okay, so here's your writing prompt. So this is completely about the article. And I also give you a copy of your article as well. Choose 2 phrases or vocabulary words from the article and analyze the author's word choices. Explain the words or phrases, connotative meaning or technical meaning in 1 paragraph below. I'll go ahead and give you time to complete that. Okay, good job. And as we close the class, I'm going to let you watch one more video.
Today, we're diving into the empowering world of drug refusal skills. First, what is drug refusal? Drug refusal means confidently making the choice to say no to drugs or any substances that can alter your mind or body. Even though it may feel awkward or hard to say no, believing in your ability to say no to drugs is crucial for making positive choices. Remember, there are too many negative outcomes from alcohol and drug use for someone to convince you it is trendy or okay to do. Research suggests that building the confidence to resist substance use improves your physical, social, and health outcomes, like academic performance, mental health, emotional well-being, and so on. Drug refusal is an essential skill because you might face situations where your peers or friends might offer you drugs or encourage you to try them. So, let's quickly explore 10 drug refusal skills you can try today. Ready? Don't mind me, I'm just getting warmed up. Skill number 1, reflective listening. Begin by listening actively to what drugs or substances are being offered. Then respond assertively, with confidence in yourself and the goals you have set for yourself. For example, you can say, "Bro, I appreciate the offer, but I've decided to stay clear of that stuff for now." Reflect on the offer, and then express your decision not to use it. This can be hard to do, but you are in control of what you put in your body. Skill number 2, empathy. Acknowledge the other person's perspective and reason for using substances. You might say, "I understand that you're into it, but right now, I'm focusing on my studies or work, and I want to stay clear-headed and healthy this month." Skill number 3, using I statements. Use assertive language to express your feelings and decisions. For instance, you can say, "I'm not feeling it. Besides, I've made a commitment to my health this month, and I'm choosing not to use any drugs." Skill number 4, setting your boundaries. Clearly state your limits. You can say, "I've set a personal boundary for myself this month, and I'm not comfortable using." Skill number 5, decisive communication. Be clear and firm in your response. Remember, saying "no, thank you" is a complete sentence. You don't owe anyone an explanation. Repeat yourself if necessary. Just because someone asks multiple times doesn't mean you have to give in. Skill number 6, goal-oriented responses. Connect your refusal to a personal goal. You can say, "You know I'm working towards my dream gig, and staying drug-free is a crucial part of that plan." Skill number 7, offer alternatives. You can suggest alternative activities. You can say, "I'm not into using, but but how about we grab lunch at that new pizza place or catch up on that new show you've been talking about? Skill number 8, change the subject. Shift the conversation to a neutral or positive topic. For example, speaking of which, did you catch that new movie everyone's talking about? Skill number 9, use humor. Lighten the mood while asserting or maintaining your decision. You might say, "Nah, I'm all about that natural high, like the thrill of knocking out a 30-minute workout." Or, "If I smoke, I'll smell as bad as you." Skill number 10, exit strategies. Have an exit plan. You can say, "BRB," or "I'm heading out, but let's catch up later when things are quieter." Don't acknowledge the offer. Continue talking or hanging out as if it never happened. Remember, it's okay to walk away. It's okay to block, or ghost, people who stress you out about drugs, in person or on social media. It's okay to leave the chat or leave the room. There you have it, 10 drug refusal skills rooted in the principles of ACT and motivational interviewing.
Okay, as you
These
see in
skills
this
are not
video, it's pretty much reiterating what the slideshow talked about. Those exit strategies, those refusal skills, ways to get yourself out of a bad situation. So everybody pull out your quiz. We're going to do a quick review as we end the lesson. Alright, number 1. What is the most effective vocal tone to use during refusal? Who got that one?
Is it B?
Yes, it's B. Monotoned and stern. Number 2. What is peer pressure? Who got that one?
Is it C?
It is C. The effect that friends have on your decision making. Number 3. What phrase is naming the trouble? A. That's dumb. B. I don't want to smoke. Or C. Both A and B.
I'm gonna say both.
It is both. Good job. Alright. These was both mentioned in the slideshow and in the video. Name 2 of the 10 refusal skills mentioned in the slideshow.
Say no and walk away.
Good job. And 5. True or false? Everyone has the power to refuse.
True.
That is true. Alright, before we close, this means you got it, this means you still need help, and this means you don't understand any of it. Rate this lesson. How much do you think that you understand? Good job. So as we leave the lesson, I'll take up all of your work.
We took some notes.
And thank you for being a part of my class.